Okay. Recording first. We are going to record today just for the people who couldn't make it during the actual demonstration so that they can see it on their own time. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Jen, and I am newer to the Skipio family, but not new to Mary Kay. And if you've watched a new user webinar or you've joined me in the Zoom room, then we're already friends. So I'm so glad you're here again, or for the first time, whichever the case may be. We're going to get started today, and we are going to talk about campaigns, and I'm going to take you through a short demo, and then we're going to have a Q&A so that you guys can ask any questions that you have about campaigns or just anything really that you have questions about. So let's get started. I am going to, are you with us, Bianca?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Unfortunately, I won't be on video today, but yes, we will make sure we get the video on next week. But we're so excited to bring you some training today on campaigns, because I would say one of the most frequently asked questions we get is, what is a campaign? And we're in the fall, so it's political season, and campaigns have absolutely nothing to do with politics. They have everything to do with you following up with your teams, following with your customers, and doing that in the most personable way. And what we're going to train you on today is a little bit about what exactly a campaign is. What does that mean? How to create one. And then we want to show you the most magical library. We have these campaigns or message templates in your resource center for you. And we want to show you how to tap into that and the magic and the many possibilities of what you can do with those campaigns. So with that, Jen, take it away.
All right. Let me get my my screen on the screen here. I want to share my screen with you so that you can all see a little demonstration here. So I'm right inside of the account. And of course, when you log into your Skipio account on a web browser, you're going to want to go to app.skipio.com and log in there. And then, of course, the first page you see is your Resource Center, which you're going to hear us talk about Resource Center a lot in these training videos because we love the Resource Center. It has so much great information, and it's really where you can go to get all of the real detailed information about the different features of your Skipio service and the different things that you can do inside your account. This is especially important when it's maybe not during business hours and you're not sure how to do something. This is a great place to go to find out. And again, and I just want to touch on this briefly, and I do talk about this in the new user webinar, you can do it, search a word in the Resource Center, and it will bring up those articles that pertain to that subject. So in the case of campaigns, if I search campaign, I can find different articles on how to use campaigns and what to do with them. And what I love is that the articles even indicate whether this is kind of a basic level of knowledge, an intermediate, or even an advanced use of a feature. So I just have to plug the Resource Center to begin with. Okay, so let's go over to campaigns. So like Bianca said, campaigns in this context are probably not what you've ever considered the word campaign to be used for. But here at Skipio, campaign is just a series of scheduled messages. So this is like a template that you write beforehand, or you create, or you import that someone else has created, and we'll talk about that. And then it's all ready to go when you're ready to send it to your contacts. And in many cases, you're going to use these campaigns over and over to different contacts. And so it's going to save that template in there for you, and it's just ready to go when you are. So first of all, let's talk about the difference between drip and reminder campaigns. So reminder campaigns specifically are for use with events. And we're not going to go over events in detail today, but if you go to your calendar and go to create event and show me how, it'll walk you through that. But reminder campaigns are specifically assigned to events because the timing of them is based around the timing of the event itself. Drip campaigns are what you will use outside of events for all of your scheduled messaging series that you want to send out. So drip campaign is the one you're most commonly going to use for a campaign. So when you go into here, there is just a little bit of information on the difference between a drip and a reminder campaign. And here on the left side, you'll see any campaigns that you have, and they are sorted here by reminder and drip. And then you will be able to you can edit those campaigns, you can package them to share them with other people, you can import campaigns that other people have written. We even have campaign templates in the Resource Center, plug again for the Resource Center. And you can clone a campaign, you can create a new campaign. There are so many possibilities here. So let's just go over the basics. If you're on a free account now, you do only have 2 save slots for campaigns, and those were pre-populated with campaigns that we provided for you. So if you're going to create a campaign and it's not allowing you to save, or it's not allowing you to create, and you're on a free plan, it's because those 2 save slots are already taken. So what you'll want to do is either edit an existing campaign or delete one of the campaigns that are there if you want to write your own and start fresh, okay? Now, if you're on a Mary Kay paid plan of any kind, you can save an unlimited number of campaigns, and you should have 5 or 6 pre-populated campaigns from us that we wrote just kind of generic for use for all Mary Kay users. Some of them are more specific to a director use, and some are more specific to consultant or director. Okay, so campaign that everyone should have in their account, which is the 2+2+2 customer follow-up. So when we created this campaign, we gave it a name, we gave it a description, and then we come down, we hit the plus sign, and that's how we add messages to the campaign. So let me just take you to one that's not created. If I hit the plus sign and click on drip campaign, it's going to put me in a brand new place to create my campaign. So let's say we were creating one for the preferred customer, because we know you guys got catalogs going out all the time. I think fall just went out, and holidays going in a few days, right? So let's say we're going to do a follow-up campaign. We'll put it, you can put a little description there to remind yourself what it's for. After receiving the lookbook. Woo. I'm going to be typing live, so don't make fun of me when I mess it up. All right, so then you've got your name, you've got your description, and the next thing you want to do is add your messaging. So you're going to go ahead and hit the plus sign, and that's going to start your first message. Now you'll notice here you're going to have the option to either wait days or wait minutes. So probably in most cases your first message is just minutes, because when you add, let me back up, okay? So the timing of your drip campaign is based on when the contact is added to the campaign. So in most cases, you probably just want to send it out a few minutes after adding them. I like to give myself a little 15-minute buffer in case I add the wrong person or I use the wrong list, so I have time to fix it. So 15 minutes is like a good little buffer in the beginning. The message name for reference is not something that the contact will see. That is solely for your reference, so that later on you can remember what this message was about. So we'll just call this the first follow-up message. And then we just say hi. You can insert a merge field here by clicking on the merge tag icon. We can put their first name in so that the message is more personal. Let's just say I just wanted to make sure you received your lookbook. Can you send me a quick reply and let me know? Question. So a great thing to remember in messaging is anytime that you can give them a reason to respond, you're going to have such great engagement from that messaging. So we like to try to think of, those calls to action, those things that will get people to reply to your messaging. So let's say that's our first one. We're going to send it out 15 minutes later. You could put a little picture here of the lookbook cover if you wanted to. You can add some emojis, whatever you want to do here to make your message personal and just make it awesome. And of course, you're going to see the message mentor kind of spotting you here, letting you know this is a great message. This one's going to have good success. Now, let's say for the case of this one, since you're going to follow up and they're going to reply, we're going to put a special rule on this campaign. So here at the top, we can select this option to remove the contact from the campaign if they send you a message. So if you send this first message saying, hey, I wanted to know if you got your lookbook, and they reply, then you don't want to send a follow-up message of the same, the same type of messaging. But you do want to add a follow-up message to this campaign for the people that don't reply. So we might wait 3 days and then send this out. We'll select a time for the afternoon. Well, if I can scroll. So second follow-up, and then we might just say, hey, I just wanted to be sure you got my last message. And I don't know, you guys are probably better at writing these on the fly than me. So if this was a second follow-up message to see if they've gotten your last message and double check on that lookbook, you can put that in here. So now you've got these 2 messages in the campaign. And because we have this rule to remove them if they reply, then the ones who receive this first message and respond back to you, they'll be taken out. But if they don't respond back to you, then 3 days later, they'll get one more little message, say, hey, I just want to make sure you got my message, see if you got that lookbook, whatever messaging that you want to put in there. So in that way, you can see, you can set up these messages and send them out without having to remember, oh, I need to follow up again and see if those people got their lookbook. That's going to go out automatically, but it's also automatically going to remove those people that did reply. So it's really a great way to use these smart features of the campaign, which are the rules. So once you've got everything in place the way you want it to, you just hit save. And then if you come back afterwards and you think of something you wanted to change, you're going to see the message previews here. And to drop that back down into an editing format, you just click on this arrow right here. And that's going to drop it down. And then clicking on it will bring it back up again to that preview view. Okay, so that is just the basics of writing a campaign. You're going to write a way better one than I just did because that second message is scanned. It needs some quality in there. Okay, so let's look at deleting a campaign. If you want to delete a campaign, let's go way back to the Resource Center so that we can walk through the exact steps. We're going to go to the Campaigns tab. We're going to go to this follow-up campaign that I just wrote very poorly. And up here at the 3 dots, you can go down and delete campaign. Just like that. And then it's gone. All right, let's talk about how to add people to a campaign. So there are several ways you can do that. The first thing you can do is go to the campaign itself and click on Add Contacts. Here you're going to see the individual names, or you can even select a group by just hitting that group label there, and then it's going to show you your group options. And then if I click on one of these groups here, it will add that group to the campaign. And you can see I've got those contacts there. I hit confirm, and then I just go down to the bottom of the campaign and hit save. As soon as I do that, those contacts are going to get that campaign messaging started to them. Let's talk about another way to do that. In the address book, let's go to my customers. Who do I have in here? So let's say we're going to send Jared a message. He would love to get messages from us. So in the address book, you can just navigate to the group or person that you want to send the campaign to. If it's the group, you can just click on Add Group to Campaign. And when you do, it's going to pull up those options. You're going to check one and confirm. Or you can add an individual by just checking their the checkbox next to their name, clicking on Campaigns up here, and checking one of those boxes. That will then add them, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to add them, so that you can confirm there. So those are a few different ways that we can add people to campaigns. Then the last thing I want to tell you about is packaging your campaigns to share and bringing in campaigns from other people. So you can share campaigns that you've created with your team member, your Mary Kay girlfriends, your unit or team. And the way you do that is go to the plus sign, click on Package Campaigns. You'll give it a name. So let's say we're going to share the STAR campaign. This is going to be the import code here that they'll want to paste in when they import the campaign, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. And then here we need to find the campaign that we want to add. So I just type STAR, it brings up my STAR Consultant campaign. and then I'm going to click package campaigns. Okay, now that campaign is ready to go, and I see it here on the left side under my campaign packages. So if I click on that, it's going to show me again what that import code is. So I can copy and paste that into a message to the people I wanted to share this campaign with, who wanted to bring it into their Skipio account. And then the way they'll do that is very similar. Just go to the plus sign again, go to import campaign, paste that code in there, and click import. Now, I can't do that because I have that campaign in here already. So that's why I'm getting that little failure. But if you don't have that campaign already, it's just going to drop that campaign right into your system. Then you can go in, and as we talked about before, you can go to those messages, click on the arrow, and go right into that editing format so that you can personalize it, make it your own, put it in your language, your tone. And then once you make any changes, just go ahead and click save. So those are the real basics of the campaign. So let's look at some questions here.
So Jen, let's go ahead and look at the keyword campaign.
Yes, okay.
If you go into campaign, and it gives you the option to add a word. There it is, plus add keyword. This is the most amazing feature to bring leads in and automatically add them into one of these drip campaigns. So yes, pink is the perfect word.
Yes, I see directors use this so wonderfully when they have a new consultant. So they will have their new consultant text the word pink or whatever the keyword is to their Skipio number. And then that's going to bring them right into their system and start sending them that campaign messaging from that campaign that you've assigned the keyword to. So let me go back to how that was done. So we're just on the main campaigns page. Whatever campaign you want to put a keyword on, you click on. And then right in this top, so here's the very top, we go down, and right under adding the contacts is add a keyword. Now, a couple of tips with keywords. It's great not to use words that people may commonly reply to with that singular word. So don't use the word yes, because then someone might get added to that campaign just because they answered a question yes. So you want just a unique word that people wouldn't, who's normally just going to text you the word pink for no reason, right? So you want to think of a word that's pretty simple, but somewhat unique. And then you'll go ahead and just type it in there. And then when you hit save on the campaign, it's going to save that keyword to the campaign, and you can see that it's still there right there.
Another really great question is, if you have a series of messages that you want your contact to definitely receive every single message, no matter if they reply to you or not, you'll want to leave that box unchecked. And that is pertinent, like if there's seriously information that you need to send to them, and regardless if they engage in a conversation with you, you want them to get that information. Now, if this is a lead and you're just trying to get them to dialogue with you, you will want to check that box, because it just makes it look silly if they continue to receive automated messages after you've engaged with them or maybe move them to a different campaign. So that's important to just remember about how to remove them or not remove them, depending on what your message says.
Right. Yeah. So in the case of the 2+2+2 customer follow-up, I mean, unless they return the product, you want those follow-ups to go through. So you don't want to have that. We don't have that checked here on that one, because the messaging is pertinent regardless, because you're doing that timed follow-up on the product. All right.
Now, Jen, maybe you can help with this. I'm not familiar with the term lead box, but I do see a lot of Mary Kay customers ask about that.
Sure.
And maybe you don't even need to explain it to me, but they're asking about what kind of campaign would you use with the lead box? And I'm guessing that's a keyword campaign again. Is it a word you put on a box and you leave around town and people can text in that keyword to get added?
Definitely. You can definitely do that. I have also seen people, they'll put it, so lead boxes are done in a few different ways, obviously, but that's definitely something you can do, is text the word pink to your number. And then when they do, they're going to get added to that campaign. Another option that I wanted to show you on that is when we add a keyword, we can select here, send contact form to new contacts. And then that will just send them a form right away, right, Bianca, that tells
Yes.
them, um, I'd like to get your information, and then they can fill out their name and everything, correct?
Yeah, and we have that text message comes from a Skipio template. It just says, "Hey, I'd love to know who I'm communicating with or contacting. Tell me your name." And then they'll fill out a little form, and then it will come into your address book as the contact with all the fields,
Right,
so that you're not messaging nameless contact. And
right,
this is really great because this is where the Mary Kay In Touch integration doesn't apply. If your
right.
contacts are coming in through a keyword
Mhm.
that you've left in a lead box, that's not information that's in touch. So you'll want to make sure to have them fill out that form so you know exactly who it is you're communicating with.
Exactly. So again, if you want that, so if this is a case of leads, and you are not going to have their information, you may have seen in your Skipio account that you'll occasionally have a contact called new and nameless. And that is someone who has messaged you, and the Skipio system has captured their phone number, obviously, since they messaged you, but we don't know their name. We don't have that information yet. So this is going to take that. When you have this selected and saved in that campaign, it's going to see that they're a new contact in your system and send them that invitation to fill out their information so that you know exactly what name and information goes with that phone number.
Yeah, and this form, just in case you can't see the context of where this is on our screen,
Mhm.
it is just above the ad keyword. Yeah, just below the campaign description and above the ad keyword.
Right here is where it says that. Send form to new contacts is the question. Checking that, you're saying yes, please send that form. If the system sees this as a new contact, please automatically send them that form to fill out, and it will do that. And before we had an integration, that's what I saw directors doing when they did a new consultant campaign. They would coach their people, have your new team member text pink to this number. And then that campaign had this option checked. And so when they would text pink, it would then send them that form and say, hey, I want to make sure I have your correct information. And they would have the option to fill that out and be in the system. Like Bianca said, now with the integration, you're getting all that consultant information, but for leads, this is great to be able to have them fill out that information and get that right into your Skipio.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Okay,
I
did we have it?
love the feedback here. If you have any other questions, no, that's a great question.
It
Just
is. Are we talking
giving
about
us
Cynthia?
does it put it into In Touch? Jen, you want to take that?
No, it does not.
More.
So the integration, think of it as basically a one-way communication. We're getting information from InTouch and we're putting it into your Skipio. We don't send any information back to InTouch. So it doesn't work that way. So you will need to put them into InTouch. If that lead becomes a customer, then you'll want to put them into your InTouch system. So it is just a one-way communication on that. I know, frowny face. I know we wish we could put stuff into InTouch, but
Maybe someday. But no, it doesn't
we don't
work that
have that gate open right now. So,
way.
okay. Did we have any other questions that we've missed? I haven't had a chance to look at all um, to look at our Q&A and everything. Looks like
So
everybody's
when we
asking in the
keep
chat.
those separated, we can track those not and in touch. I would recommend that the groups that you create, you would keep the group in a lead group if they're not in touch and they're only in Skipio.
Yes, and the other thing about the keywords is when you have a keyword that someone uses, the system's going to put them into a group automatically. So I don't think I have any keywords set up here. But if I had the keyword pink set up and someone texted the word pink, it's going to add a group called pink over here under my groups. And any of those contacts who have texted that will be put into that group. I hope that helps. Can I send the fall lookbook from my website to a group? Cynthia, are you talking about like sending a link to the digital lookbook? I think that's what you're asking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things to know about links. First of all, the lookbook link, the one I've seen tends to be really long. So usually, we do have people who send it and we can have great success. The thing about links we want to be careful about sometimes is that we have the most success with links in established conversations, because we do have the carriers out there trying to protect everybody from getting spammed. And one of the things that is particularly nefarious is links, right? Because people try to get you to click on stuff. So our best practice suggestion with links is to try to have those in an established conversation. And if you do have a situation where the link is really long, we have found that those shortening, those websites that will shorten your links cause issues. So one of the things I've seen people do is save the digital lookbook. I think they've saved the digital lookbook to their Google Drive to make a shorter link, or saved it to a web page or something that they host that has a shorter link. But we do see people send out links with great success. They do it all the time. We just have to be a little bit careful. If it's like your first message going out and you have a big long link, it's more likely to run into errors with the carrier. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And if you have to send out a long link and you're worried about the carriers, go ahead and attach an image with it. It will send it as a media message and not an
Right.
SMS. And it's a guaranteed way through the gate. But carriers really watch for those links.
They do. They really, and you know what? They're doing it for good reason, because there are some
We
people
don't
out
want
there.
text to turn into email. We really don't. We're trying to protect the industry.
Yes. So, and like Bianca said, adding an image. So take a screenshot, snapshot of that cover and send that right with it. And then, you know, it goes through as an MMS rather than an SMS. So if I send it individually, I can follow up in a campaign. You could, yeah, you could add them to a campaign. Absolutely. Okay, did we have any other?
I think that might be it. We'll go ahead and save this recording, post it on Facebook. So if any of your coworkers, your team members, leadership, if anybody wants this training, it will be available in our YouTube library. It will be available on our Mary Kay Facebook page.
Yes.
And we will be here next week with more training, hopefully with more video as well.
Thank you, Amanda. We so appreciate your time and joining us today. If you have a question that you think of after we're finished, feel free to submit a post or send a direct message on the Facebook page. And then I will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time in the Zoom room. If you haven't joined me there before, the link for that is on the top pinned post in that Facebook for Consultants and Directors page. So Skipio for Beauty Consultants and Directors page. And I'm there 9 to noon Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. So if you ever run into anything or you have any questions, you can hop in there. Sometimes it's a big group of people. Sometimes it's just you and me. We can screen share. I can go over things with you. So be sure to take advantage of that too. All right. Great. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, Joyce. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.